Good afternoon everybody, how are you all? Thank you for tuning in on day 6 of the 12 days of Christmas. Are you enjoying the shows? Halfway through now, only another 6 to go. So we are on countdown, should we say? So I hope from the videos we've done over the course of the last 6 days you have enjoyed them and you maybe have picked some ideas up or some tips on things that you can do or incorporate in your projects at home. So for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Toni. I'm a guest presenter over on Create and Craft TV, and I just love to play with ink, play with stamps, paint, colour, anything like that. And I'm hoping anything I do in the live studios or anything I do on live TV down at Create and Craft, it will encourage others to do the same. It isn't difficult, and if I can do it, I'm certain you guys at home can do it too. If you are watching on Facebook, that is absolutely brilliant. Don't forget to pop a comment below and share if you can. And if you're watching over on YouTube, please remember to click the subscribe button, as the more followers we get means I can try and do more things to help more people. So today we are going to do a variation on techniques. So I have got 4 cards planned in this show. Fingers crossed we get through the 4, I'm sure we will. They have the same concept, but a variation of products are going to be used across the board. So for the demonstrations today, I'm going to be using these cards here, these stamps here, and I have a handful of stamps in my hand. So I've got 2 A5s, 3 A6s. So I just wanted to show you that the technique we're going to use today, you can probably pick up a stamp within your stash and create the same effect. You don't have to have these items. If you like them and love them, all you've got to do is pop onto our website and pop FBL, Facebook Live in the search engine, and all the items that have been used within the show come straight up, so you haven't got to go rooting for them. But again, if you've got flower stamps or sentiment stamps within your stash, you may be able to use those. So if you are wanting inspiration with regards to any of our products, you can find these over on our Eureka fan page also. So the design team are over there as well, making great makes, customers as well using all of our products. So Eureka fan page is where you need to be. It's a great place to have fun and get encouragement from others. So we're going to be using these ones. So we have a lamination one here, which is a 2-part one. We have some lovely sentiments, which is a huge one. We have a background stamp, which is like a paper print. We have our infamous beautiful one, which again is the 2-part stamp lamination, the colour portion and the outline. And then we have one of our lovely deco stamps. There is a lot, but I just want to show you that over the course of these cards, you can pick up a lamination, a general stamp, a general colouring stamp. It doesn't have to be one of these things. The actual technique works across the whole spectrum of stamp ideas, should we say. So before we get started, I've cut my cardstock ahead of time in varying colours. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do like a bit of batch stamping, so we should end up with 5 cards by the time we've got through them all. So I have a white top folding note card here, and I'm just going to pop it into my Eureka, and I'm going to hold it down with my magnets like so. You're probably wondering why I've got this piece of paper here. This is because I'm going to stamp off the cardstock, so I don't want it to go on my mat underneath, because it becomes a bit of a mucky mess, should we say, and then you end up getting marks on other projects. So I'm just popping that secure in there like so. Give it a good score, and then I have the paper print stamp, which is heavily used, and the great thing about this is it's got a line detail down there, so if I want to do a continuing stamp down one side, I can do that. I just follow this line. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this over one end, and I'm just getting that block on the edge of this card here. So just hold my artwork in place. For this one, I am going to use a brown, and this is the distress ink. Now over the course of this hour or so, I'm going to be using varying distress inks, colours, to show you how to get the most out of these inks, and varying generation inks as well. So get out whatever you've got in your stash. These are all water-based inks, so I'm sure you'll have something in your stash that might work. So I'm going to be using the walnut stain for this one. So I'm just going to ink up the side of the stamp, which I want the artwork to print onto my top folding note card. And then I'm just going to push it down. We get like a lovely print down one side there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to remove this, and I'm just going to move my artwork up out of the Eureka because I need to stamp across the bottom. Now it doesn't matter that it overhangs over your Eureka, it will still work. So I'm just going to continue the pattern across the bottom here, connecting that line with the line up there, and I know it will connect fine. Oop, that wasn't meant to happen. Pop it back down, like so. Pick up the stamp properly this time, and then we're just going to ink the lower part of the stamp so it coordinates. So there we have a continuing pattern which looks awesome. Let's just separate those before it ends up nipping my fingers. So you can see there, excuse this marking, obviously that's where this is what happens. But you can see the continuing pattern down there. So I'm happy with that one. I'm just going to set that aside because that's going to create one card. So ahead of time, is it under here? Yeah. I did this purple one and I did the same pattern all over. So the process you just saw me do there, I did here. I did the full block, I continued it across the bottom, the next piece, and I continued it across the bottom. So I've got this purple top folding note card all in this like paper print, which is beautiful. So that's going to be another card. And then ahead of time I have a craft coloured one, so you can see here, and this has just been inked up in the same brown ink pad on top of a craft coloured note card. And here we have a red one. So I'm going to show you a technique with the red one, and we're going to cover the whole of this red one. So we can pop this in here like so, hold it in place, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place this face down on here like so. Just hold my artwork in place, and I want a little bit of a watermark on the back of here, so I don't want any colour. So a great way to get a watermark on the back of a card is either to use your clear Versamark, that will leave a faint one, but I did it before airing, it didn't leave a dark enough print for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a red on red. I'm just going to, and basically the one I'm using for this one is Barn Door. So I'm just going to ink this one up. I'm just going to stamp it down. So if you ever want to create like a bit of a watermark, it's always a good idea to do tone on tone, so same colour, maybe a little bit dark, and you see there you get like a watermark. It's beautiful. So I'm just going to move it over to this side, and I'm just going to pick up the stamp, and I'm going to do the continuing pattern. So we're going to line that line up which is on the stamp. I'm just going to finish that area, pick up the stamp, so we've got our continuing pattern. It looks really cool. And then to finish the bottom, I'm just going to move it up, hold my artwork in place, take the stamp, line those lines up as I showed you before. So take the line up to there so it continues the pattern. And then last one, just move this over slightly. And again, we'll match that line up and we're good to go. There we have. I hope you can see that. Gives like a beautiful watermark. So we'll just put this away. Back on our carrier sheet to look after it. And then we're going to move on to the next stage of our project. So, just pop this one under here while it dries. So at least each one's drying as we're going through the course of the 4 cards. I'm just going to remove this now because there's no need for it. So what I have here, make sure my hands are clean, is a smaller top folding note card here, as you can see. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to create a miniature card. So I'm just going to hold that in place, just with the one for now. And what we're going to use on this one is our, let's just see if we can find it, our diamond mount. And we've used this a few times, but we're going to use this one here, which we haven't actually used. So I'm just going to show you a different way to get the most out of these. So I'm just going to pop it on here. And what I'm going to do is I have 2 shades of green ink pad here. So I've got LGO3 and GO1. So LGO1 first, I'm going to ink up and stamp. So I've got a lovely green print there, but I want some dimension on there, and I don't want to have to spritz, I don't want to have to use a layering stamp, I want instant dimension. So the GO1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a sponge dauber in the green, and I'm going to pick up some of the darker green, and I'm just going to pop some darker green into the centre of these leaves on this little stamp here. Not all the way, just at the base of each leaf. Just want it to pop, make this element pop. So I'm just picking up some of the darker green, and this should give me instant dimension. Can we see that there? It's darker in the centre. Now you can keep going with that, make it darker. So just see if we can get a bit of a closer look in there so you can see the dimension. I'll just stamp it out again. And can you see there how we've got light and shade? Instant light and shade. So it's just a different way of thinking about getting light and shade without you having to pick up a paintbrush. So if you wanted to now, on the same stamp, you could pick up a little bit of brown, add a bit of brown. So I'm using the walnut stain, and I'm just going to go through the centre. See here, I'm just going through this centre part of the, and I'll stamp that out, and what should happen then is you will maybe get, there we go, look, see that? Just do it a little bit more, just so you can see. There we go, look. So instant light and shade, and all we've used is finger dauber to create that. So let's move this one around. So I'm going to stamp it first of all in the lightest of the green. So this would look, again, amazing in your autumnal colours. So the lightest. So you can see the difference instantly. You've got just one flat, complete green, and then you've got this one here with complete dimension. Looks absolutely cool. Gives a beautiful result. So, you know, please do give it a try. So again, I'm just going to ink the centres of these, the tips and the bases of these leaves here with the darker green. Look at that, absolutely awesome. And then with the brown, just going to get a different sponge dauber for that one so I don't contaminate the colours. And then with the brown, I'm just going to go in the centre of the bit more. So I'm just going to move this down here. And just repeat the process as you would, but I do encourage everybody to do what I'm doing this evening. Like, I've got this idea in my head and I thought it'd look great in this colour, great in that colour. So get them all out and do a lot together, because I'm hoping to create 5 cards within this show. So that's light green. Sponge dauber some of the darker green onto the leaves in the centres. A bit more. And then a little bit of brown. So how cool is that? So before I go any further, I'm just going to blast this one off. Make sure it's absolutely dry. So we'll move this one to one side and we'll come back to it. And then we'll get our next top folding one. So this is for a different card. And we'll just remove the leaf. So remembering that one's from the diamond one. I know a lot of you have got that set, so get it out and have a good play. So the next one we're going to use is the lamination hydrangea one. So the solid portion, which is the black portion. I'm just going to place this straight in the centre. Pick it up, and it's a brand new stamp, so it's a little bit sticky. So what I'm going to do this time, again, we have a few different purples here, so we're going to go with what works. So first of all, we'll go with lilac, see if that works. So I'm just going to ink this onto the head of the flower, just the flower, not the green parts. So that's the lightest of the bunch. I'm just going to stamp that out, remove that slowly. So there we're getting our flower, and then same concept as our flowers, our leaves. I've got a purple one here, and we will try purple, just a dark shade of purple. And I'm just going to take the purple and I'm just going to spot it in areas on. Just move this out of the way so you can actually see what's going on. There we go. I'm just going to spot the purple in areas, just random. And then we'll stamp it out. You see there, we've got instant dimension. It's truly a lovely idea, you know, just to get dimension without even maybe thinking about it. Can you see there how I've got lovely dimension on there? Little to no effect. I'm going to leave that one. So let's go back to the green on here. So we've got our lightest green, so I'm just going to ink up the green. I'll move it over so you can see. Just going to ink up the green. And we'll stamp down the green. And then the base of it, I'm going to take the darker green again with our sponge dauber, and rather than go direct to our work, we're going to do it straight on the stamp. So I'm just going to create a bit of a shadow at the tips, down the side, the base, just a little bit, not too much, because I don't want to lose the green that's already on there. Can we see there how you've got the light and shade in there? It's absolutely superb. So let's dry that one off. So you could leave that as, that would make a beautiful sympathy card if you wanted to just leave it as is, but it has got a beautiful outline. and we will come back to that one. So let's just move this one out of the way. So the next one, so another one in a different size. It will all come to fruition when we start putting the cards together. So for this one then, I have the lamination lily one. So what we're going to do with this one is I'm just going to drop it on. Now it's going to be quite difficult, but I am just going to nape it on the bottom of there, and hopefully it will hold it in place for me. We can always trim it down. I want the best of it really to be there, which is fine. So we'll just remove this one. What I'm going to do with that is, because I can't get my magnet underneath, I'm going to secure it down with a little bit of tape, because the technique requires us to repeat it. So I'm just going to hold that down a little bit, and then I can move my magnet. So just pop this back on, make sure we're straight and level. There we go. So with this one then, I've decided to go with maybe some Distress Oxide, and I've gone for one lipstick and Abandoned Coral. I don't know what these are going to look like, but you know, I'm happy to go with it. The best cards are made from these sorts of things. So with the lightest colour, which this appears to be the lightest colour, I have also got picked raspberry as well, but we'll go with what works. So I'm going to go with this one first. I'm going to ink this stamp up all over. And this is going to be our lightest colour first, hopefully. Okay, so we've got our lightest colour there, and then picked raspberry, just a normal distress ink, is the one that we'll add detail with. So I'll just grab it. So for this one, I'm just going to pick up some of the ink, and I'm just going to highlight the centres of this stamp, where it would naturally be darker. So this will give instant dimension. So I've got that one there, I've got this one here, so that would have shading there. Pop a bit in there. So I'll stamp that out and see how we go. Wow, look at that, how cool is that? So let's just, that isn't quite dark enough. Let's swap it out. Let's go for Abandoned Coral, see if we get a brighter colour this time. So we can try. I'll just pop this in the centre. And this is a great thing, I know I keep saying it, about the Eureka. There you can see I didn't really enjoy, sorry I did enjoy, I didn't really think the colour popped from the page, so the facility to go back in and just keep going until I've actually got the colour I really wanted to achieve is amazing. There we go, look at that, I'm happy with that. So let's dry this one off. So just pop that to one side and move on to our fourth card. So another one here. And for this one, let's just move this one out of the way. And then for this one, we're going to use the infamous Beautiful. Now, I probably know that all the viewers have already got this one. This was one of our first ever lamination stamps, and still to this day, it never ceases to amaze me. It's so versatile. It can be used for so many cards, and I see so many people making makes, making batch making with these all in different colours. I drew it as a poppy, blues, pinks, yellows, oranges, whatever colours you love to do, you can literally do it in this card. So basically it's a 2-layer stamp, as is the Hydrangea. Okay, so all you're going to do is we're going to do the first part first, which is this solid portion here, and then the outline will bring the artwork to life. I'm just making sure it's straight. That's okay. So this is the solid portion, and I am going to do this in some Generation inks, or we can do it in Distress. But when we first started out as our company, we launched Generation inks along with this stamp, and our Generation inks still to this day are amazing. And back in the day we created our very own video and we were super proud of it, and I'm going to actually take a minute of your time now just to show you one of our older videos and show you how us as a company, Stamps by Me, have grown for one, but how to get the most out of your lamination stamps and Generation inks. So we made that about 2 years ago, and we were super proud of it, and we are still super proud of it today. However, we have grown as a company, we are getting better, improving, so it just shows you how much we have improved as well. But I just wanted to show you it because it's quite a fun video, and it just shows you the different things you can do with Generation inks and the stamps. So I've got the solid portion of the stamp face down on my artwork here, and I'm just gonna close the door. And I am going to do this poppy in red. I've done it in blues and I've done it in varying colours, but I'm going to do it in red just to be different. So I'm going to do the Abandoned Coral Distress Oxide first. So I'm just going to ink this stamp all over. Now I would normally spray this with water to give me a realistic watercolour finish, and if you do want to see it in a realistic watercolour finish, just pop onto the website and have a look at the gallery. There's varying samples of this specific stamp. So I'm just going to push that down, and there we have like an instant piece coming together, should we say. So what I need to do now is I need to take the second colour, which is going to be Barn Door, and I'm just going to take another sponge dauber. And again, same concept as we did with our other 3 cards. I'm just going to take some of the red, get a lot of red on there if it lets me, pick some up. And I'm just going to add some dimension to this straight away. So I'm just going to add some red to the base of each one, maybe around the edges of one. And hopefully this will come out a little bit darker than the Abandoned Coral. So I'm just going to go for it and see if it works. No, it's not coming out any darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the Abandoned Coral, and I'm going to pick up the same colour and I'm going to add detail just as is, same colour though. So this will give me dimension, hopefully. Oh, it's coming together, which is nice. Let's try this one. We keep going. So let's see if this one adds some dimension. So just on the base, around the sides. I think this will be better. There we have, can you see there? We've got some instant dimension. Because I love that so much, I'm just going to add a bit more. So experiment with your own colours at home. I'm 99.9% certain you will all have some form of distressing, or you'll definitely have an ink pad of some form, whether it be mine, another brand, and they will all probably work for this technique. So make sure I've got lots of colour on there. There we have got like a bit of a poppy coming together, should we say. So let's put these away. I'll just dry that one off. So let's get this artwork to come to life. So I'll just pop that back on the carrier sheet. So here's my outline. I'm going to do this in black, a little bit different. So you just line it up. It's very loose, it's very fluid, there is no right and wrong way. I am quite loose with my watercolouring, so if it's not stamped perfect, it won't look a mess. So we'll do this in black. There we go. Just going to do it one more time. There we go. So we can see how amazing that looks. Just from a little bit of dimension, just from colour playing, oranges and yellows look beautiful, you know. Please just have a go with what you've got in your stash with the sponge dauber idea, because it will work with a lot of your stamps already. And I know a lot of you have already got a lot of my stuff, so dig your old ones out that you've probably bought from us way back in the day, should we say, because they will really work. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and we'll set that aside to dry. So let's revisit, let's get these cards constructed. So let's revisit this one. So we're going to go and take one of the lovely sentiments. So we've got these lovely sentiments here. So let's go for your whole lot of lovely, yes you are. And what we're going to do is we're going to heat emboss this one, because I think it will look beautiful heat embossed. So I'm just going to move that up there, and I'm just going to use an anti-static bag. Now, if you've been using ink, what will happen is the embossing powder will stick to all that ink in there, so you must use an anti-static bag. Even if you've dried it with your tool, there will still be moisture and you will ruin it. It'll all just stick everywhere. No, we'll go here. We'll go in the centre. So I'm just going to use a sticky ink pad. And we'll do this one in gold. can see how lovely that looks. So when I heat emboss that, it will look amazing. Just pop that back in the jar, keep it nice. So I'm going to get my gun good and hot. So please don't forget to comment or tell me which card you like the best, or did you pick up anything new today? Is it a technique you might try? If that's the case, drop a comment below when I post the makes after the show, and I always send out all my makes to one lucky winner. So I don't know if you can see that there. Is it showing? There we go. It's really got a lovely shine on it there. Really nice. So let's get the card constructed. So I'm just going to put some tape on the back of here, just with a tape gun. So this one where we did this here, because I've got this awful ugly horrid mark there, I'm going to pop it to the side here, hide it. I would have centralised it normally, but I'm going to hide it. So basically you will have a card within a card. Now this will flatten, it's just because I've used the heat tool on there. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to use some of our fabulous Cintillaire glue, and I'm going to make this into a bit of a Christmassy card, make it look like it's got red berries on there. So I'm just going to make sure that's absolutely flat. I'll pop it under a book, and then I'm just going to tap this Cintillaire into the point, and I'm going to create some lovely red berries. I'm just doing groups of 3. And I'm just going to do it on each one. This glue that I'm using is from set 1, so the detailed one. There we go. I'm just going to set that aside and let it dry. So when it's flat, you have a beautiful Christmas card if you wanted to, anything you wanted to. So I'll set that aside to dry. So let's bring this one back into shot. So for this one, the outline on this one is going to be heat embossed in gold. So again, anti-static. And the outline portion of this one, again, just adds a little bit of detail. Again, there is no right or wrong way. Pop it on where you think it might be right. Hold your artwork in place. Sticky ink pad. I will just do it in gold again. It's not until you add the outline, it's where you see your artwork come to life. See that there? So when I come to heat emboss this, I'll have a beautiful, like, foiled gold outline. It's absolutely gorgeous. So again, going good and hot. And you get this beautiful outline. So let's get a sentiment on here. So from the same, within this collection you have got some like mini ones, wonderful wishes. We'll actually go with the one in the set. So if you have got this set, you know you can create this card. So I'm going to do it in black. So I'll just move this to one side. So there we have like a card within a card. So you could pop a message under here if you wanted to, or within inside. So that will flatten out. It's only because I've used heat embossing, but what a lovely way to send a card a different way. So that's card number 2. Number 3. So for this one, we're just going to go black straight in the centre. And we're going to use the big sentiment from the collection saying, get your happy on. We will do it halfway down. So this is huge, this stamp, so it's not for the faint-hearted. There we go, just do it one more time. Just dry that. And again, this is obviously the top folding miniature, should we say. I don't really know if there's a name for this technical term. Card within a card, maybe. I'm not sure. But you could write a secret message on the first one and then something else on the inside if you wanted to. So this is a taller one. Another card there. So we're flying through these. So that's card number 3. And then the last one, which is the poppy one. So we will do heat emboss on this one because it's got the black, and I'm doing it straight through the centre of the image. Straight through. I love sentiment straight through artwork. So, and for this one, we'll do a different one which says, perfect just the way you are. I'm just going to do that one more time just to ensure I have hit the whole of the stamp. See that there? It will come to life as soon as I heat emboss it. So there you can see how gorgeous that looks straight through the centre. So let's get this onto the card. I cannot believe it, we've managed to do it. I thought it was a bit ambitious, 4 cards, but we've done it. So maybe a card within a card. I don't know, maybe you guys want to name the technique at home. So I'll just move this one out of the way. So let's just bring them all in. There we are, 4 lovely cards, all unique in different ways. Same technique, should we say, sponge dauber and a ink pad on its own to create dimension and depth, some with lamination stamps, some with your traditional day-to-day stamps. So get all your stuff out, get all your inks out and just have a play and see where it takes you. I'm sure whatever the result, you will have had a great journey getting to the end of your cards. So I've not got anything else to say. Just one quick one, our workshops, we have dedicated some more spaces on some of our workshops. So if you checked last week or yesterday and you were told it had sold out, go and recheck, there's some being put back on. So whatever you're doing, have a great evening and I will see you all again tomorrow, day 7 at 4 p.m. See you later everybody, bye.